Dear student friends, I think you are doing fine during the lockdown. Now, whatever the portion left from the third unit of our polymer, that is, the first is determination of molar masses of polymer by viscometry method, and second one is determination of molar masses by Donan membrane equilibrium method. Now today we are going to discuss in detail about these two methods. Now the first one is, see, the determination of molar masses of polymer by viscometry methods. Now in this case, the average molecular weight of polymer can be determined by simple viscosity measurements. Now from that we can get certain qualitative conclusion. What that qualitative conclusion we can get? See here, that is about the general form of polymers, about the general form of macromolecule in the solution we can get. Therefore, viscosity of high polymer solution depends upon the size and shape of the molecules in the solution. The method involves the preparation of a series of polymer solutions of different concentration in a suitable solvent. You have to prepare the polymer solutions with a different concentration in a suitable solvent. Now, after that, after preparing the solution, viscosity can be measured by using Ostwald's viscometer. You know how to measure the viscosity in BSc first sim or second sim. You might have done, you might have performed the experiment. That is by using this Ostwald's viscometer. Now these are the two glass bulbs. Now here, from this glass bulb, you have to add the solution. Whatever the different concentration of solutions you have prepared, you have to add with the help of pipette, and from this end you have to suck the solution. How to suck? Now you have to suck the solution in such a way that it has to reach well above the upper mark A. Now when it has to reach well above the upper mark A, you have to start the stopwatch. Mark, you have to note down the time to flow the liquid from mark A to mark B. That time you have to record. Therefore, based on that time, now we can calculate the viscosity of the solution is eta and that of the solvent is eta naught. Now the relative viscosity is given by the ratio eta by eta naught. Now if the flow time for the solution and solvent are T and T naught, therefore we can calculate the ratio with the flow time, that is T by T naught is equal to eta by eta naught. Now you may ask the question, sir, what about the densities? Because when we were doing the practicals related to viscosity, you have calculated the densities, but here we have taken the very dilute solution of the solvent and solution, therefore the densities are nearly equal. That's why we are not considering the densities here. Relative viscosity eta R is equal to T by T naught, which is equal to eta by eta naught. Now the specific viscosity, which is represented by the symbol eta to the base Sp, that is specific viscosity, is equal to the reduced viscosity minus 1, eta R minus 1. Now the reduced viscosity eta RED is equal to specific viscosity divided by C. What is C? Where C is the concentration of polymers in grams per 100 ml of solvent. Now we got two variables. One is this quantity, that is eta Sp by C, and another is concentration of polymer solution. By taking these two variables, if you plot a graph, we will get a straight line. And after getting the straight line, if that straight line is on extrapolation towards the zero concentration, that gives the limiting viscosity. And from the limiting viscosity, that limiting viscosity is related to intrinsic viscosity. Therefore, by using the Stadinger equation, from that Stadinger equation, we can calculate the molecular weight of the polymers. How it is, that we will discuss. See, whatever the limiting viscosity we got, that limiting viscosity is known as intrinsic viscosity. And this intrinsic viscosity is related by molecular weight of polymer by means of Stadinger equation. And this is the equation. See here, the limiting, the intrinsic viscosity is equal to capital K into capital M raised to A. Now in this equation, this is the intrinsic viscosity and capital M is the molecular weight of polymer. Capital K and small a, these are the constant, and these constants depend upon the polymer and solvent at a particular temperature. Now in this table, I have given you some polymers and their respective solvents. See here, now this is the polymer polystyrene, here the solvent used is toluene, and these are the K and A values. Here 3.7 into 10 raised to minus 4, and small a value is 0.62. Now the second polymer used is polyisobutylene. Here we have used toluene as a solvent, and these are the K value 3.6 into 10 raised to minus 4, and small a value is 0.64. And this is the next polymer is polyvinyl alcohol. Here the solvent used is distilled water, and K value is 2.0 into 10 raised to minus 4 and 0.76. Now like this we can determine the molar masses of polymers by using simple viscosity measurements. The second method to determine the molar mass of polymer is the determination of molar masses of polymer by Donan membrane equilibrium method. Now before going towards this method, let us know first what is the meaning of the Donan membrane equilibrium. Now see here, Donan membrane equilibrium occurs when a large non-diffusible charge ion, for example protein ion, is separated by a semi-permeable membrane from a diffusible salt. Now suppose let us consider a solution of salt contains Na plus and P minus ion of concentration C1 is separated by a semi-permeable membrane from a solution of sodium chloride of concentration C2 on right to a region of low concentration, that is concentration C1 on the left hand side. Means now here see what happens, the protein ions cannot pass through the membrane. Means there are I will draw the diagram. From the diagram you will very clear that is left hand side is the low region concentration and the right hand side is the high region concentration. See, from this diagram we can easily you can get the idea what is that, the left hand side and the right hand side. That is how the non-diffusible salt we cannot pass through the semi-permeable membrane. That is, for example, protein molecule carries the negative charge. Now this is the low concentration region and this is the high concentration region. Now the solution diffusible salt flows from low concentration region to the high concentration region, that is left hand side. The low concentration region is C1 and right hand side the high concentration region is C2. And this is the semi-permeable membrane and this is the equilibrium state. Now here, now you see this is Na plus P minus ion, this is the salt. Now here the concentration is C1 and C1, left hand side. Now right hand side this is ion Na plus and Cl minus. Here the concentration becomes high concentration, that is C2 and C2. Now see here, that is Na plus P minus Cl minus. Here the concentration becomes C1 plus X for Na plus and the concentration of P minus is C1 and here concentration of Cl minus is X. Now towards the right hand side the concentration of Na plus is C2 minus X and the concentration of Cl minus is C2 minus X. Now see, in both the compartments the total concentration of positive ion is equal to the concentration of negative ions. That means when we consider in terms of chemical potential, the chemical potential of sodium chloride must be same on both sides of the membranes. How it is, that we will discuss by taking the equation. Accordingly, the equation RT log A of NaCl bracket close L is equal to plus RT log A of NaCl bracket close small r. Now here what this small a, small l and small r represents, small a is the activity of sodium chloride towards the left compartment, small l refers, and here the activity of the sodium chloride towards the small r refers to the right hand side compartment through the semi-permeable membrane. Now here assuming the mean activity coefficient in the left and right, that means if we consider the mean activity coefficient of the left and right, now we can write the Donan equilibrium in the form of equation. How? See here, the concentration of Na plus of the left compartment into concentration of Cl minus of the left compartment is equal to concentration of Na plus of the right compartment into concentration of Cl minus of the right compartment. Now from the diagram, that is from the diagram I have represented the ions and their concentration. Therefore now when you substitute the values of these particular ion concentration in this equation, the concentration of Na plus is here C1 plus X, concentration of Cl minus is X towards the left left compartment, and the concentration of Na plus and Cl minus towards the right hand side compartment becomes C2 minus X into C2 minus X, or you can write C2 minus X bracket square. Equation of the same equation, that is Donan membrane equation. See here, C1x plus X square is equal to C2 whole bracket square plus X square minus 2 C2X. Now this is the X into the bracket C1 plus 2 C2, which is equal to C2 square. Now after simplification we will get the value of X, that is X is equal to C2 square divided by C1 plus 2 C2. Now after getting the value of X, from this it is evident that extent of diffusion of sodium chloride, now that is distinctly affected by the presence of the non-diffusible ion, that is protein, which is carrying negative charge. Now from this we can conclude three different points. What are those? Here, if the solution behaves ideally, now what about the what you call the osmotic pressure effects? And the second conclusion is, if the C1 value is smaller, how is the equation? And the third one is, if the C2 value is smaller. That we'll discuss. Now see the first one. If a solution behaves ideally, osmotic pressure can be calculated by using Van 't Hoff's equation. This is the Van 't Hoff equation. P is equal to RT into C. Now instead of concentration C, you can substitute the values, which is equal to RT within the bracket C1 plus X plus within the bracket C1 plus X minus in the square bracket C2 minus X plus C2 minus X, which is equal to, I have written here, P is equal to 2RT in the bracket C1 minus C2 plus 2X. This is the Van 't Hoff equation we will get. Now the second point in conclusion is, if the concentration of salt C2 is small as compared to C1, that is the non-diffusible ion, now we will get the Van 't Hoff equation like this. P is equal to 2RT within the bracket C1 minus 2X. Now the third conclusion is, which is the last one, if the concentration of salt C2 is large as compared to the concentration C1, now then the pressure is given by P is equal to 2RT C1. Now from this equation what we can conclude? Now this equation does not involve the concentration of chloride ion. That means, in other words, we can say that the effect of Donan membrane equilibrium on osmotic pressure is practically eliminated. Now here this is precisely the condition under which molar masses of macromolecules should be determined